Congressman Lucas, can you tell us what people are wanting to talk about when they catch you at these town meetings?
Well, it's a variety of subjects. Clearly, we talk about Obamacare, as my constituents refer to it, ACA, the national health care issues. There's things out there that are percolating around the question of federal rules. The EPA's effort to expand the federal government's authority over water. The federal government's proposed rule at EPA to try and expand the control over the emissions out of our coal-fired plants, those kind of things. Those are all hot topics. But as you would expect, in addition to oil and gas, Main Street business, healthcare, the things, at least until the last few days, that have caused the most excitement, of course, were the Farm Bill. The implementation of the new 2014 Farm Bill that I spent 2.5 years working to help put together, and the provisions that deal with the weather, whether it's crop insurance or livestock disaster. How are those going to be implemented? How are they different from previous programs? How do we utilize those? Now, it's rained a little bit of late. Things are a little greener, but after 2.5, virtually 3.5 miserable years of drought, who knows if it'll continue to rain. So the weather and the farm programs that affect producers' ability to survive the weather are really hot topics too.
It appears that you achieved very positive results on the Farm Bill. I've heard praise about it.
Oh, absolutely. It was a challenge. Now, it took 2.5 years to pass a bill that should have passed in 6 months. It's a bill unlike any other farm bill in the past, because this farm bill in the next 5 years compared to the previous 5 years will spend $23 billion less. The old direct payments go away. That was a key component of the commodity title. The number of CRP acres drops rather dramatically as we make reforms and consolidations within conservation. And in the nutrition title, saving $8 billion by reforming LIHEAP, or what many people refer to as heat and eat. And oh, by the way, setting up a pilot project in 10 states to require able-bodied adults without dependents to work for their food stamps. That's a first time too. So reforms and savings everywhere, yet still the safety net so that if you have a drought like we've been going through in the last few years, there's some help available to you using crop insurance. The conservation programs still exist. And for those of our neighbors who have a hard time meeting their food needs, the safety net there too. But all done in a very divisive, complicated, challenging political environment. I tell people it was just short of a miracle. A miracle implies a little divine intervention to me. But this was nonetheless almost a miracle, the fact that we got it done.
Changing the topic to medical care.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, everybody is concerned about Obamacare and what's eventually going to happen. Do you have a guess?
I don't think anything tremendously different will occur until President Obama leaves office in January of 2017. This is his main accomplishment, his bellwether issue. Now, that doesn't mean that they haven't manipulated and adjusted it as they've gone along. Quite literally, whether it was the mandate that requires businesses with 50 people or more to provide health care that meets the Obama standards, so to speak, as of January 1 of this year, which got pushed back a year, or a myriad of the other things where they've on 200 plus occasions adjusted the law. The President's still very proud of his biggest accomplishment, some might say his only accomplishment, and he'll protect it to the end. But I would say to my listeners out there, as I tell folks in the town meetings, I know you want something done about this. I know you want changes. All we can do is try to make a difference until we have a change at the White House. That's when you really have an opportunity then to look at the long-term future of Obamacare, or repeal, depending on what your perspective is.
One last question, and that has to do with local hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma Watch, an organization that supplies news stories and does research of Oklahoma issues, has listed, I think, 31 small community hospitals in Oklahoma that's likely to close because of the changes in, I believe, Medicaid. Is there any hope for Share Medical Center at Alva?
There's always hope. It's important that we maintain our local health care providers. I come from, as you well know, a very small community, Cheyenne, in Roger Mills County. We maintain our local hospital only because we have had a sales tax earmarked for it in the county for almost 20 years. You shouldn't have to have a sales tax to support a local health care provider, as we do in my home county. But in the way that Medicare and Medicaid work now, and in the way Obamacare is interacting with that, it seems to be making it harder to get reasonable reimbursement rates on both Medicare and Medicaid. that has to be addressed. You remember one of the president's big selling points on Obamacare was everybody will have insurance. There'll be no more indigent care at the emergency room. The local hospitals won't have to take care of folks who can't pay anything. So far, best I can determine, that equation has not changed yet. We'll see.